Tesla stock investors received critical information about the company's key initiatives, including the AI software that fuels driverless car technology, its battery manufacturing, and the impacts of tariffs on its business in the near term and in the long term. So, I'm going to discuss those factors and what they could mean for Tesla stock investors here in this video.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
Right, so great news for Tesla stock investors. The company remains on track for pilot launch of robo-taxi in Austin by June. Now, this doesn't have to be anything extremely exciting. It could just be Tesla's driving themselves on the same route in Austin, Texas, over and over again, just to collect data, just to show regulators that the process is working as planned, and just to have the cars continue going over and over, repeated trials, so you can say like, look, these cars drove themselves over 1,000 times on the same trip, and they only faced one or two difficulties during that entire time, even though the weather conditions changed, even though there were some unexpected circumstances. They still delivered 99.9% execution on this route across these changing circumstances. So it's progress, it's a step forward, and that remains the goal of Tesla in the long term. So this is just one step in that longer term process, which seems to be at least a few years out. Now, Tesla did say that they remain on track for producing the Cybercabs later in 2026. I wouldn't be surprised if that is moved back further. But even if they start producing them in late 2026, those could be just used for testing as well, as I don't think the permitting process and the regulatory process will be approved in time for those 2026 Cybercabs to be put out in the market. But it could be. There is a chance that regulations move quicker than expected, but in most cases, regulatory bodies across driverless car technology have been slow to move forward, and that doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. Tesla also said that their lithium refining and cathode production plants are on track to start production this year, which would onshore production of critical battery materials to the United States. And of course, this is more important than ever with the rising tariffs on the United States' trading partners across the board. So having more of its manufacturing based in the United States will give Tesla some protection from the rising cost of goods sold of its production parts. Tesla also said that they achieved a fourth sequential record for Powerwall deployments, crossing 1 gigawatt hours for the first time, and continue to be supply constrained. I just love businesses that are having demand so strong that you don't have enough supply to meet that demand. And so it's good that at least in one part of Tesla's business, they have strong demand, because in most other parts of its business, demand is a lot less than expected, right? They have capacity to produce around 3 million units of electric vehicles, and I don't even think they'll get to 2 million units this year. So they're, not even producing at 70% capacity for electric vehicles. So it's good that at least one part of its business is doing really well, and the energy part of its business, the energy storage, energy services, is doing really, really well. And it's growing to become a larger percentage of its overall business, partly because it's performing well, but also partly because the electric vehicle business is doing so poorly. In the most recent quarter, revenues fell by 20% year over year in the automotive segment. And so the growth in the other businesses, coupled with the declines in the automotive business, means that the rest of the business is becoming a larger percentage of Tesla's overall business. So this was a big concern. Tesla told investors that they will revisit their 2025 guidance in their next quarter update. Remember coming into 2025 when Tesla said that they were going to increase the number of units sold in electric vehicles by between 20 and 30%? That's becoming increasingly unlikely. In the latest quarter, as I mentioned, automotive revenues were down 20% year over year. So the only way I see the company delivering on that initial guidance of 20 to 30% unit growth in electric vehicles is if they launch that lower priced electric vehicle in the first half of 2025, which means the time is ticking to launch that lower priced model by the end of the first half of 2025. And for that lower priced model to be significantly lower priced, enough so that it drives consumer demand. Right now, if it's only $5,000 lower or even $8,000 lower than existing models, I don't know if that's going to be enough to drive an increase in sales, let alone the 20 to 30% increase in unit sales for 2025. So the plans for new vehicles, including more affordable models, remain on track for the start of production in the first half of 2025. There were rumors that it wasn't going to do that. It was going to delay this and say it was going to scrap it altogether potentially because of the rising tariffs, declining consumer demand, increasing focus on driverless car technology. There was a chance they were going to scrap this idea altogether. I think it's a good idea that they continue because they need to generate unit sales. They need more cars on the road collecting data, generating sales because they already have the fixed expense of that unit capacity. So at least to the point where they're producing 3 million units annually or close to 3 million units annually, which is their capacity right now, it makes sense for the company to continue driving increases in demand so that they can absorb more of those fixed expenses that they have to pay anyways because they have that manufacturing capacity already in place. So their purpose-built robotaxi product Cybercab will continue to pursue a unboxed manufacturing strategy. But look at these words that they use to pursue a revolutionary unboxed manufacturing strategy, right? Now, I've said before and I'll say it again, Tesla is the best marketing company in the world in my opinion when it comes to marketing to investors, and they really hype up their products really well and they get their investor community really excited about their upcoming product launches, even though when they actually produce these things, they're so much less exciting than they were making them out to be. Still, they do a great job of hyping it up. And here's another example of that revolutionary unboxed manufacturing strategy. And it's scheduled to have volume production starting in 2026. So I would estimate this would be in very late 2026, probably December. If it is in 2026 at all, I wouldn't be surprised if this is delayed further. But it's good news to see the company not delaying it just yet, right? Even if they don't delay it until the middle part of next year, it continues to increase the hopes that they remain on schedule, which they rarely are on schedule. So this would be a surprise and a big positive surprise because I think most stock market participants are expecting them to be late and underwhelmed on this particular product. So it would be a huge positive surprise if they were actually going to deliver this on time and as promised. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book, Make Money Buying and Selling Stocks, a 6-step framework for evaluating publicly traded companies, is finally available for sale. Unlock the power of intelligent investing with my 6-step investing framework. It's a proven system designed by a university professor and a chartered financial analyst. Frustrated by the lack of frameworks that met my needs and high standards, I developed this comprehensive guide to help investors at all levels make confident and informed decisions. In this book, you learn how to assess opportunities, manage risk, and build a portfolio that works for you. No investor should dive into the market without a solid strategy, and this step-by-step framework provides you the roadmap you need. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your approach, this guide will empower you to take control of your financial future. I've added the link in the description below.